it's me, very nice.
And it's me, Piglet. Or you can call me Genie Piglet today because I have my Genie tail on.
Is that your Halloween costume or something?
Yeah, it is.
Pretty, secky.
Ouch.
Oh, you smacked me.
Yeah, and I hurt myself for doing it. So today, kids, we got this really cool DVD to review.
This day, we will be reviewing
Children's favorites Halloween treats from 2004 and
hit entertainment.
They're all hit entertainment shows.
6 thrilling shows. Now, the interesting thing to know about this quickly is not 4, but the majority of these programs on here are actually stop motion. Bob,
All the Builder,
Rubba
Dubbas,
Dubbas, Pengu, they're all stop motion.
Angelina Ballerina is not.
No, of course not Barney. And the thing, we grew up with this DVD. We watched it quite a bit when we were younger, around Halloween, whatever. 2004, I would assume that our grandmother just found it somewhere. But no. These are still on store shelves to this day. Back a year ago, over the summer, mind you, this is over the summer a year ago, at I think it was a Best Buy or something.
Yeah, it was Best Buy.
I should have gotten a picture, but I swear I saw this exact DVD. There's still out to this day, Amazon still has this DVD, and there's a whole line of these.
I don't know if they're still making them or they just made so many that they're still selling them.
They're still out. There's a whole line of these.
There's Children's Favorites, Hit Entertainment Christmas, Volume 1, Hit Entertainment, Children's Favorites, Volume 2, but these were all from 2004 and 5 and 3, so remember that.
And isn't there a springtime one too?
Oh yeah, this was spring one.
And just random episode ones. And, it's weird. They're still out to this day. On the box of every single DVD, just guess who's on the cover of every single one.
Barney.
Of course.
Barney makes it on the cover of literally every single DVD. And Bob, the Builder, is usually on the majority of the covers, but Barney is literally on every single
one. What I don't get is, why the flip is Pengu not on the cover of a single one? Pengu, which is probably one of the most popular sit it down programs on this DVD, or at least popular over in Europe, you think he'd be on the cover?
Yeah, and speaking of Europe, there's all these shows are European.
They're all British.
Besides Barney, which Barney screams American, so that just makes sense.
Speaking of which, our contestants today are Angelina Ballerina. I've actually never heard of this animated Angelina Ballerina show anywhere else besides on this DVD.
There's the CGI remake, but that's shit.
Then there's Bob the Builder, of course.
Everybody's heard of him.
Barney.
Oh, yeah.
Rubba Dubbas. Kipper.
Lame.
And Pengu.
Woo!
Raise the roof, y'all. We got Pengu.
Why the flop wasn't Thomas on this DVD?
Yeah.
They have trailers for Thomas DVDs on this.
And you can also find him in the matching game.
Thomas has plenty of episodes that scared the crap out of me when I was
There are plenty of Halloween episodes. Scary episodes.
Percy the Ghost.
Yeah.
This they try to scare Duncan by throwing rocks into the water. Boulder.
This is Thomas was a hit entertainment show at the time when this video was made. Why he's not on here, I don't understand. The thing is though, a lot of these shows on here are pretty random. This is children's favorites. Favorites, eh? Do you really think children would pick Kipper over Thomas?
Really?
I don't understand.
Would you choose Angelina Ballerina over Thomas too?
Really? How did they determine these children's favorites? Did they vote? Did they do some special way? Automatically.
If you know, tell us please, because we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, please somebody tell us.
Obviously, we looked it up and we couldn't. We checked a lot of places.
Yeah, automatically, Barney was probably just automatically put on there.
Pengu was made around there because everybody loves Pengu.
Yeah, probably automatic.
Bob the Builder makes sense because he's cool.
Yeah.
Kipper, Ballerina.
That's kind of a random choice, but
Rubber Dubbers is okay.
Kipper, they just put it on there because they feel bad for it. So I think it's about time we get into the first episode on this thing.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the boring one first. We're gonna do Kipper, and there's not much to talk about it, so it'll only take a minute. It's really bland. The episode is. Why not you just wait and see?
Let's get going. By the way, that's a toad, not a frog.
Yeah, Kipper is...
It's kind of boring. It's just Kipper.
Kipper literally it's just one of those shows where the main character lives in a white abyss, and things just exist in this white abyss, and it's never explained, and it just needs to be simple because it shows up for 3-month-year-olds.
We used to watch Kipper a lot when we were younger. I'm going to assume that it entertained us because we watched it so much, but looking back at it, this is the boringest thing on the DVD.
Like, all the other shows kind of entertain. I mean, yeah, some of them do, but, like...
This is kind of like drab.
I mean, Barney gets kind of, well, you'll see.
So, the plot is just this. Kipper just meets some ghosts. They're just
a ghost that shows up at his house.
It never explains how this ghost exists, where this ghost came from, how this ghost is here, what it's happening, or anything. It's just here.
He just says he's been sent to haunt him.
Who sent the ghost to haunt Kipper? Why would this ghost be sent to haunt Kipper? What has Kipper done wrong? Exist?
Well, so then the ghost is naturally bad at being a ghost, so Kipper just has to teach him to be good at a ghost and like scare people. And so not much really else happens.
Just random montages of like the ghost and Kipper doing things ensue until Kipper's friend arrives.
Yeah, his friend literally just shows up out of nowhere
in the middle of the night and says that he couldn't sleep, so he came over to Kipper's house. So he couldn't sleep, so he came over to bug his friend, who also could be potentially trying to sleep and could have waked them up to tell them that.
What the flop?
Hello, Kipper. I couldn't sleep.
Tiger, do you believe in ghosts?
No, Kipper. Actually, there is no such thing as ghosts.
And then Kipper just completely betrays his friend, has the ghost scare his friend, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the ghost becomes good at being a ghost, and they all have a good laugh, and it just ends. Yep, that's the episode. Not that good. Okay, I don't
good for 1 minute-year-olds, but
I don't think it was worth putting on this DVD.
No.
They could have put anything else on.
Thomas.
Really.
Okay, now let's move on.
Is the Rubber Dubbers. So this episode of Rubber Dubbers is about Finbar the shark. It's better than Kipper. I don't think it's the greatest thing, but it's alright. It's basically just about him,
scaring the Rubber Dubbers.
Yeah, he just scares a bit of him. So
let's get to it.
Let's dive in. Get it? Dive like double.
Here come the rubber dubbers, splish, splash, splish, splosh. Here come the rubber dubbers, splish, splash, splosh. Here's Tom. Flossie. Rubber dubber. Finbar. Rubber dubber, splish, splash, splosh. Terrence.
So this episode of the Rubber Dubbers is about Finbar. And so Finbar is sad because he can't seem to scare anyone. He's not a very scary shark. Unlike Bruce the shark, who is a very scary shark indeed.
Who eats people, but thankfully I think he's been murdered. But he always comes back. So, just like every other episode of Rubber Dubbers, Finbar dreams of being what he wants to be, and he
terrorizes everybody, and
he terrorizes everyone on the beach. And I don't think this may have scared me a little bit when I was younger. This episode doesn't really say. I mean, Kipper wasn't Halloween themed, just had a ghost, and this isn't even Halloween themed at all. It's just scary Finbar. Again, there are a million actually scary Thomas episodes, but then Finbar scares everyone away except Terrence, who flees across the beach, and when he gets to one of the trees that has no room behind it, he asks the purple frog if he can go back there, who replies, "Oh no, there's room here, Sonny, go now." No, that guy's a stingy jerk. What is he kidding? There's not even room for a single person back there, let alone two. What the flop?
Poor Terrence.
Help! Sir, you've got to help me. I need somewhere to hide. I'm ever so sorry, but there's no room here. Hey, come back! Ow! You don't understand. I'm trying to help you. Oh no!
Eventually, Finbar ends up looking at his own reflection, and of course, is scared of himself. And then that just makes him turn good. And then he helps Finbar, and everybody realizes he doesn't have to be scary.
Then he wakes up from his daydream, and that's it.
I think he scares everyone, but then they scare him, and then they play volleyball. I think
something like that. Okay, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, that episode was alright. Not really scary.
Better than Kipper.
Yeah, but more scary than Kipper, I'd say.
Now, if you couldn't tell already, we're on to Bob the Builder.
Spud the Dragon.
Let's dive in.
Oh boy.
So this episode, again, isn't necessarily specifically Halloween themed. It just, I guess, kind of has like a little like scary like part in it. I guess it's
really
not scary. No,
Not
it's
at
just
all.
like a
Not at all.
It's just like has a scary hinge to it or whatever. So Spud, he gets this dragon costume from a lot of other costumes that would be used in these children's school play.
And so what does he do? He decides to terrorize and manipulate his friends with it. Well, this is happening. Bob and Wendy have to redo this woman's...
Mrs. Potts.
Yeah, Mrs. Potts. Redo her attic.
Bob is messing around with the tambourine, and also there's this really weird random part. Mrs. Potts just starts just doing this Irish jig. I don't understand why, but she just does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoa! This is really fun!
Oh, honestly, Bob, you're noisier than Rolly.
Whoa!
Oh, dear. Are you all right, Bob?
I'm fine, Mrs. Potts, but my leg seems to be stuck through your ceiling.
You can see Bob rashly, out of spite, gets his leg stuck in Mrs. Potts' ceiling, and
they get it out, don't worry.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the construction vehicles are getting a little suspicious of
Spud the Dragon.
Yeah, Spud the Dragon.
Until so finally, Bob and Wendy finish up, and they're driving down the road. They're done, and now,
Spud
oh boy,
makes the mistake to jump out to
challenge them.
And so he rashly, like Bob, rashly out of spite runs away, and Bob and Wendy pursue him. During the pursuit, Bob and Wendy are running around, flailing their arms unconsciously left and right,
when
not
they move
naturally.
their legs, it looks like they're ice skating, not like walking. Like their legs are like back, and like it looks like you're like propelling with like a skate, not like walking. Just watch for yourself.
It's the scary dragon!
No, it's the magic dragon.
It's not a dragon at all. I know that voice. Uh-oh.
Come on, let's get him.
I thought so. Spud the dragon.
I'm sorry, Wendy. I was just having some fun with Mrs. Percival's costume.
And then, of course, everybody forgives Spud, and then Wendy just magically...
Actually, we never actually see the machines forgiving
they just
Spud.
disappear. But, like, then Wendy just magically makes another dragon costume, which she uncharacteristically and unholy-like scares Spud, which causes him to pretty weirdly just run at the screen screaming.
Yeah.
And that's how the episode
It
ends.
scared the crap out of me when I was younger.
Kinda
like
still
the
does
dragon
now.
didn't. Like Spud running
did.
uncannily at the screen, screaming.
Oh, I should probably mention, there's a YTP of this coming out on the channel soon, like a Halloween YTP.
It could have already came out by the time we posted
Yeah,
this too.
you never know. So be on the lookout.
And how about you can watch the Scream, and it's pretty weird.
And then after that, we're going to do pengu?
yeah,
Pengu then.
yeah, pengu. Woo.
In this episode episode of Pengu.
Which scared the literal crap out of me when I was younger.
Pengu and the Ghost, as it's called. Pengu commits an atrocity of true horror when he terrorizes his little sister Penga by pretending to be a ghost.
And he gets punished.
And he has to sit in his room, and he thinks
Go to
like
bed early,
like he thinks like
no TV. Go right to your room, young man.
like Pengu thinks like the curtains are ghosts, and like this episode. Remember, Pengu's only like 4 minutes long. There's not much to talk about here. Obviously, Pengu is the most high quality thing on this DVD. It's from like, well, I mean, not like the most scary, but it's pretty like a little freaky. It's just. I take Pengu any day over like Barney or Rubba Dubbas. Yeah, it's flippin' Pengu. But then here's where things actually get a little freaky. Piglet.
So this part scared the crap out of me when I was younger, and it still kind of confuses me to this day. So I'm just gonna spoil it now. So we got this guy. He's walking outside of Pengu's door, and Pengu thinks it's a monster, like a ghost. In all reality, it's just Pengu's father, being the fat ass he is. He's just getting a midnight snack. But it's like stomping outside the door, and like the shadow going by scares the crap out of Pengu, and it scared the crap out of me when I was younger. Just take a watch. It's kind of scary. So that fish did not look like that in the original scene. Maybe the father got another fish.
But that's a really bad goof. It just changes like that. That's just...
He eats part of that fish, and then it's just magically back on
no
it.
logic.
So Pengu's father comes in and shows Pengu that it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a towel on the wall.
And he's all like, yo man, Pengu, everything's okay. And then Pengu comes in and sleeps with his parents. Pengu, aren't you a little old for that? And
that's a happy ending. Everybody forgives themselves. Pengu learns not to be afraid. I did not. I got terrorized.
And I mean, Pengu never like apologizes for being a jackass to Penga or anything. We never get to see like them make up or anything. He's like, she's just sleeping. So assumably he's still a rotten, mean.
Maybe he learned what it's like to be scared, and that's good enough.
Yeah. So next, we actually have the other decently scary episode on this DVD, which is the Angelina Ballerina.
Which, yeah, if you've never heard of that,
I don't blame you.
Tortellini!
Next, we actually have the one thing on here besides Pengu that's a little scary, and that's Angelina Ballerina.
Now, of course, it's not really like horrifying, like a horror movie.
Henry's Halloween. That's what it's called.
But it's scary.
And it used to creep me out when I was younger. Like, I really kind of got scared and disturbed. And this whole episode has like a eerie sort of vibe, from like the music to like the animation to it really does. It does succeed at being creepy.
So, if you haven't heard of Angelina Ballerina, I don't blame you. The reason the show is called that is because Angelina and Ballerina rhyme, and why not make them mice?
I thought they were books.
Oh yeah, they're probably, I think they are books too. And so we have the original animated series here. Of course, Entertainment made a CGI reboot, which sucks. But so here's the original, and we got an episode. And so in this episode, our girls, Angelina and her friend, I don't remember her name, have a Halloween party and need to dress up. And so Henry, Angelina's little brother,
I think, and this is the only episode of the show we've ever seen. So okay, we might be wrong about this.
Gets the crap scared out of him when I think it's their father tells them the story about the chipping cheddar witch.
Which is this witch that will turn you into stinky cheese.
And so Angelina and her friend
decide there'll be a tree monster for Halloween.
Why not? And so they naturally have to go into the forest and get stuff to decorate.
Which leads to some of the most horrifying scenes in this entire thing.
We'll get to that later. So Henry runs off to do gay little stuff. And just out, and like in the background, like on the outside views, like it's like all the imagery is dark and kind of like scary. Like the music cues are honestly pretty clever and kind of scary how they do this.
The violin cue is the same that's used in all like the Gordon Ramsay shows, like Kitchen Nightmares and everything.
Here, why don't you take a listen?
The chipping shadow witch!
So then Henry spots the chipping cheddar, who he thinks is the chipping cheddar witch, just roaming around on the streets and gets like terrified.
Naturally, he goes back to tell Angelina and Angelina's friend, and oh, surprise, they don't believe him. They just think he's a stupid little kid, so go away. And so Henry goes away and finds Angelina's boyfriend.
I'm gonna guess that's who he is.
And so they discuss it. And then they go on a hunt to find the chipping cheddar witch.
They search the town. There's more chilling imagery, the violin cues, a lot of more scary moments. Meanwhile, Angelina and her friend are out in the forest getting parts for their costume. And there are some just eerie, creepy scenes from just like... There's like the eerie music to like just like the leaves in the background. Just the thought of being out in the forest, like in the late afternoon, mid-October.
And this is the fall. It's Halloween. Why the flopper are the leaves still green?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Here, watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Ooh, you made me spill my toffees.
I'm sorry, Alice. I'll help you pick them up.
Oh. Hey, look! Oh, I'm a tree monster. And I'm the chipping cheddar witch. Magic wand, do as I please. Turn Angelina into stinky cheese.
What was that? I hope it wasn't the chipping cheddar witch.
Or a real tree monster.
We finally get the climax, and so...
It's a little anticlimactic compared to the rest of the episode, but it's alright. The boys and the girls, they like run around and get confused, and like, because I think it's the chipping cheddar witch or whatever, and
Henry gets dressed up in this ridiculous costume after getting all this crap covered on him. And then so...
Of course, it reveals the chipping cheddar witch isn't the chipping cheddar witch. She's just like, I don't know.
It's their music teacher.
Probably like their music teacher, their ballet teacher, some person that they know. I don't remember her name. And she thinks that their costume is really nice. So she never really like says to them, I'm not the chipping... She says I'm whoever it is. But she's not like specifically like, I'm not the chipping cheddar witch. It always leaves you to think and wonder. And then they go to the Halloween party and their tree monster costume wins.
Of course.
And then they spill the cheese and they see... sneaky cheese, and they think it's the chipping cheddar witch, and their music teacher just turns to them, and she doesn't give them a definite answer. She's just like, oh, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Like,
what the flop? Are you the chipping cheddar witch? How many mice have you turned into cheese?
Like, this is pretty creepy, like...
What?
What do you think?
Ah, darlings, who can tell with the chipping cheddar witch?
I know this is a children's, like, television show and there isn't much thought put into it, but come on, really, like...
I mean, this is scary. But the true horror to come is the Barney episode.
Not because it is scary, but because a Barney, just that the word Barney should strike fear into any educated human being.
Okay, let's, well, that's it for Angelina Ballerina.
That's it for this video. We covered the, basically everything except Barney, which we'll get in the next part.
Because Barney's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, just an hour, and, we don't have that time.
Yeah. Now. So, tune in for the next part. Please subscribe for more. If you subscribe to us, we'll subscribe to you. When you subscribe, you must comment in the comment section of this video and other videos saying you subscribe so we know who you are. Please watch more of our videos, the second part of this, and, yeah. Have a happy Halloween.
Yeah. Tortellini.